Okay. Good evening, Brockton. I'm Richard Ripley, the Bat Bus Guy. Welcome to episode number 30 of my show, Bat Bus Guy. Tonight will be another special edition of my new show, Brockton Votes 2025. My guests tonight are Brockton City Councilor at Large and candidate for mayor of Brockton, Jean Bradley Derenoncourt, and Stephen Pena, candidate for Brockton School Committee, Ward 1. Tonight we'll be having a discussion about the ongoing dangerous confirmed public safety threat on bat buses here in Brockton. For anyone new to my show, I'm going to very briefly review the safety threat. I myself am a four-time victim. I have documented 131 illegal dangerous violations. The City of Brockton and Massachusetts State Representative Rita Mendez and others have investigated and confirmed my safety concerns. BAT management has admitted in writing they've disciplined dozens and dozens and dozens of their drivers for dangerous, aggressive driving behavior threatening passenger safety. In the last few months, multiple disabled Brockton grandmothers have been seriously injured and hospitalized. The most recent incident was about 3 weeks ago, maybe 3.5 weeks ago. A 71-year-old disabled man was injured when he fell to the floor of the bus, and his blood was spilled on the bus when he fell down. Now, I wanted to bring on Jean Bradley Derenoncourt first. And first I want to give you a chance. Do you want to make a statement, or do you want me to just ask a question?
No, absolutely. So, well, obviously, I would like to thank you for inviting me to your show, and of course, you folks who are watching this at home, and, you know, my, should I say partner, my colleague, Pina, you know, who's on this campaign trail. So for those of you who may not know me, I am Jean Bradley Derenoncourt, or the guy with the long last name, candidate for mayor, and it is a pleasure. It's an honor for me to be here, and let's do it.
Okay, now I want to ask some questions. Now, the first question is now, last week at a campaign event, I think it was after the election at the Taboo Bistro on Main Street, you stated, if elected mayor, you would do everything possible to represent all the people of Brockton, and that you wanted to make the city safer. What I want to ask you is, and I'm trying to find and do this in the right way now. You've been a Brockton City Councilor at Large for 2 years now. Mm-hmm. And as such, you already represent and serve all the 106,000 plus people of Brockton. Mm-hmm. And you have the power and authority, and I believe a moral obligation to act responsibly and publicly inform the people about the confirmed ongoing safety threat on the buses. Mm-hmm. As a city councilor, you can issue a resolution to bring BAT before the full council in a public meeting and hold them accountable, yet you haven't. Mm-hmm. Also, you do not need anybody's permission to act with compassion and issue a public statement to protect the safety of the people of Brockton. Mm-hmm. Finally, now this is the tough part, but please don't get upset.
It's okay.
I truly, and I mean this, truly do not understand how you can go about your business every day knowing that hundreds, maybe thousands, I don't know how many people use the bus, but at least hundreds of your constituents, including kids and students and disabled seniors, are riding those buses every single day. At any time, any one of them could be hurt. And you are complete, and you remain silent. And I'm sure you've seen this letter from the city. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but the city states in this letter from the city attorney that this is not a city problem, it's a BAT bus problem. But BAT bus won't address it. Now, if BAT's not going to address it, the solution can't be for you and all the other city councilors and elected officials to say, screw the people. We're not going to say anything. It's not our responsibility. It is your responsibility. You were elected to represent and serve the people. And, well, that's it.
Well, Richard, let me just put it to you like this. I mean, obviously, thank you for asking these questions. Obviously, we got hundreds of them, right? So at the end of the day, you know, I take the time to listen to you in regard to your frustrations, right? Your lack of response and what have you. And you may not know that, but I too used to take the bus. You know, I remember vividly when I was going to Massachusetts, you know, community college, I took the bus, and this was like almost, 14 years ago. And at the end of the day, I do have a basic understanding of what it means to be on the bus and what it means to sit in the seat and knowing that every single person on that bus is safe. Now, in regard to the questions with an S that you ask, let me address the first one first. There is always room for improvement. It doesn't matter what you do or where you're doing it. And at the end of the day, I understand that the situation with the bad bus is very complex in regard to, as you know, it's two different entity. Yes, I am an elected official. Yes, I am here to represent everybody. But at the end of the day, the local government, Richard, does not have the power to determine how they operate. What we can do, in regard to what you said, we can definitely file a resolve to bring the leadership in front of us. You may not know that, but the mayor actually sit on that board.
He's on
So
the board of directors?
if I'm lucky enough to become the next mayor, I probably wouldn't even have to invite them to City Hall. I can sit in there and talk to them how to improve it. So, as you know, I'm a very positive person. Let's not focus on the problems. Now, what is the solution? The solution is having a sit down with these people, talk to them in terms of like how we can improve the system. Because talking about it over and over again, pretending that I can solve it on my own, that would be a lie. As you know, I'm very open and I'm out there speaking in terms of like what I believe in. Yes, there's always room for improvement, and at the end of the day, we want every single person who is taking that bus to be safe, whether you are a senior citizen or a young person, because the safety of one is the safety of all of us. The last conversation that we had at City Hall, that's exactly what I told you. So I would love to have the power to bring whomever in charge of the Bad Bus organization to come in front of the City Council to explain their reasonings. They can come, but that doesn't mean they're going to solve the problem. So I am here for a solution, not to point fingers at anybody. And if I'm lucky enough to become the next mayor on November 4th, I can guarantee you I will sit down with the board and try to come up with a solution. Yes, there's the problems. Yes, the problem needs to be fixed. Now the question is, how do we fix it? That's why I'm here.
Okay. One more, and then I'll bring you in, Stephen. You didn't answer my question about this is going on right now. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock, someone could be hurt. They need, somebody in the city needs you. You don't need the mayor's permission. You don't need the bus company's permission. You can do it on your own accord. You can issue a statement, call the press.
But that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing right now.
And you can tell the people what the threat is.
But
they need to hear it from you.
Richard,
you need to tell them what the threat
is.
I've told the people many times.
As we speak, right, on your show, now I just made many statements.
Okay. But the people tomorrow morning could be the day, because see, the situation with the buses is you can't predict when a bus driver is going to act aggressively or drive illegally and endanger someone's life. Because you can't predict it, the only realistic and right thing to do is issue a statement, however you get it out to the public, and tell them, okay, this is the problem, this is how you can protect yourself, this is what the laws are to protect you. I've done that a few times, but they need to hear from our elected officials.
But I mean, here we are. And again, to go back to what I just stated, at the end of the day, I understand that I am an elected official. Okay. I was voted in by the people. And here we are, according to your request, I am here talking to you about this issue. Now, I can just go on Facebook, put a post. That's not the solution.
Well, we need to get something out in your name to the public.
But that's not just my name anymore. That's my face, my voice, my name on your show. My point to you is that I'm not here, and you said it perfectly well, to point finger. We are here to look for solution. Do I believe that the safety of one is the safety of all? 100%. Do I believe that there's always room for improvement? Of course, yes. Do I believe that the bad bus is perfect? Of course, no. I'm not perfect. I have a lot of flaws. But at the end of the day, we as a community, especially the city of Brockton, how do we come together to bring the best of what we have? And this is the conversation that we are having.
Okay, so one more quick question now. So as far as notifying the parents or issuing some kind of press release immediately, when I say immediately, I mean in the next few days, telling the people the truth of what the problem is so they can protect themselves and their families, you're against doing that as of this moment?
No, there's no against. I mean, I just said it to you, Richard. This is
one of the most... Will you go on Facebook?
No. Listen, I'm not
today, but will you come on again?
Well, this is what you got to do.
And tell the people what the threat is and what the laws and policies are to protect them, and then let me put that out?
No, but listen to this. I don't need to do that. You know why? Because I don't need to go on Facebook to post what the laws are This is what we do. What you do, you
But the
take
people
those-
don't know. See, the
I
people are
understand,
naive. They don't
but-
know what the laws are.
Richard, hold on, Richard. But that's not my job to actually
Yes,
go
it
out.
is.
No, but hold on.
You were elected to
I
serve
know,
the people.
I know.
There's a threat in this city
I agree.
for you or any city councilor
just
or any
said it.
elected official
Yes.
to say, "Oh, it's not our problem. We got to work through with that."
It is
That's-
our problem.
That's
It is our
unacceptable
problem.
to me.
It is our problem. And as we speak here, I
Okay.
am
No,
on
no,
record.
that's okay. That's
But
okay.
listen
I wanna give
but you
Stephen
can
some time.
But you can publish this too, though. So technically, you have it live. You can just take this
I want to
video
bring in Stephen
and
now.
put it on Facebook.
And I want Stephen to, if you want to, you can make whatever comments you like, but I would like you to address it as far as the hundreds of school kids who ride BAT buses to and from school, whether the parents realize it or not, and if it's necessary to alert the parents to some type of risk, not to bash the bus company, but just to give the parents the information they need to protect their kids, and I'll leave the rest to you.
Yeah, so I would first start by saying thanks for having me on, and thank you for bringing up issues of safety, because I think the issues that we face here in the city right now, to bring business in, to bring students back to the city, to stop our kids from migrating away, still living in the city, but migrate away, going to other towns, has to do with the safety. And there are so many of our students from Brockton High especially that are taking the BAT bus, and they have a student pass. So I believe,
didn't know BAT
yeah,
had a
I
student
believe
pass.
that if we're allowing them or giving them those passes to ride for free, I would say that it is imperative of the school committee to ensure that what they're doing for transportation purposes is safe, and they are able to have some kind of accountability with those with the drivers and so forth. There's really one bus that gets filled up every single day. Kids are leaving school early just to get to that bus. They leave the last period. It's not the best way to go. As a city, as you know, our transportation budget for the schools is something that balloons up quite often and ends up putting us into a deficit. So we need to look at this in a way that we're making sure that kids are getting home safe, because I do believe it's our responsibility to take care of those kids from the time they leave the school until the time they get home, and making sure that the parents are aware of what is going on. Now, as an elected official, I'm not an elected official. So what I would say is I have kids, and part of that is on me to make sure that if my kids are going to get on the bus, that I'm doing my due diligence. Now, a lot of people don't have that ability or that time, or they have a language barrier where they're being stopped to do that. I would say maybe this might be an issue where we're also going into the community and talking to some of the maybe faith-based organizations, getting them involved. You know, I'm hesitant to go all the way and say something like the Guardian Angels or something. You know, bring that type of just like bus monitor in just for those school period rides that are very full with the students. But there's got to be something that we're able to do to just allow the parents to know what's going on. But at the same time, they don't have another way to get home. So it's difficult. It's a difficult situation. Look, I don't envy what this guy's going to go through if he's elected, or even as a counselor. There's a lot of people coming at you. I mean, I can tell you, walking the streets, knocking on doors, I'm getting yelled at, and I've never served a day in the school committee. So it is a little bit hard right now to discuss fully what I would do, because of I'm not there. Now, my opponent has the ability to call hearings and so forth, and bring those people in front of the school committee, especially a subcommittee, but he has not done that. So there are avenues. As a parent, I would probably say, and I have done it, talk to as many people as I can to let them know of the issues there.
Okay, so you don't think the school committee needs to, because the school committee has the ability to reach all the parents, obviously. You don't think something needs to be done through the school committee to get the information that the parents need about what the dangerous threat is. You know, the driver, you step on the bus, the driver hits the gas,
You know, and
fall down.
I understand what you're saying, but I think that you start to step on toes of either the law enforcement or the traffic enforcement or other entities that are responsible for that part of it. I think that it's the school committees and the school's duty to just inform, whether that's a piece of paper that gets sent home, just letting people know. I think that would do well in doing that, or I know they have the email blasts that go out or the phone calls. It's not something that I think that is that the school committee can fully, without adding those buses, can really comprehend and address in the way that you want them to. But I think it is something that they need to at least speak on.
Yeah, because now if the school committee, I mean, if my understanding is, you tell me if I'm wrong, the most important goal of the school committee is the safety of the students and the staff and the teachers and all the people working there. Now, but if the school committee knows for a fact, and they do, about the threat on the buses, do they have a responsibility to get this information to the parents? Because safety is important. And if the school committee doesn't do it, how are they going to know? Like a kid could get hurt tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock.
Right.
And
you
then
could
they're going
have
to find
another
out,
instance-
and they're going to find out that the school
Right.
committee knew about all this, and nobody alerted the parents.
You could have an instance where you saw on the subway that tragic incident with the Ukrainian woman getting stabbed. You know, things like that are, obviously goes into as a dad, those things are always going in the back of my head of what might happen. I'm going to tell you and I know I've already discussed this with you, but who's really at fault here is the current mayor, the mayor that's sitting there. That only comes out when the cameras are on. So maybe if you brought the cameras over to him, he might answer it. I'm not sure.
Well, I've gone in front of his office and done a show one time, but he
yeah,
never came out.
You know,
He did come out when I went there with picket signs, though, and offered me something to drink.
Yeah, and I think that's. I think what you need to do, and I know we talked about this. What you need to do is get a group of parents and concerned citizens together, and really go down there and have that discussion with them, because I think that's he is the one that's over the police department. He is the one that's over the fire and safety, and so I think that is something that if he has the data saying that all of these incidences have happened, which he should.
Oh, they do.
So if he has anything that says that any kids are getting hurt or anything like that, it is. Look, I get that he has his plate full. Because I've seen some of the things that have happened on these buses, school buses, and so I think it's one of those things where we need good leadership in the city, and we need somebody that's going to step up and be that leader, because right now that's what the city is lacking.
Okay, yeah, because I'm going to start an education campaign with Luce Falara. She also ran for mayor. We already planned on that. We're going to have some interpreters and make up some paperwork in all the different languages and have volunteers going out into the neighborhoods and try to get the information out. But there's only so much I can do. I mean,
Right.
I'm not an elected official. I don't have money or anything like that. But I'm trying to do what I can because I don't want to see anyone get hurt. Because the solution is so easy. Someone has to, not me, an elected official has to do it. Tell the people, okay, this is the threat. You get on the bus. It's illegal for the driver to move that bus until you pass the yellow line. If you want more time, you have the right to ask the bus driver not to move the bus. Those laws are there for you. But see, majority of people in the city don't know those laws are there because most of the people who ride the bus are low income. And they're good people. They've done nothing wrong. They just can't afford to buy a car, and they have to ride the public buses. And they're the immigrants in the city, and it's understandable. They don't want to confront management. They're afraid to go talk to people. They're afraid to question anything. But we have to get the information out to them, what their rights are. And that's what I want to try to do.
Richard, I mean, even as we are speaking about this issue, I mean, you can see that, the Bad Bus, organization in terms of the union, they endorse my opponent. And obviously, you cannot have him on your TV show. So it goes to show you that, whatever they are doing, right, have been approved by these persons. I didn't get an interview, not even a moment to speak to them. So that endorsement come out, without inviting anybody else, to be fair. So at the end of the day, I mean, I think the question should be, how we're going to fix the problems. And like I stated, as an elected official and as somebody who's running for mayor, if I'm lucky enough to become the next mayor of Brockton, the first thing that I will do is have a sit down with all of them. Where are we? Where do we want to go? And how do we get there? In terms of like the safety of all of us. What's unique in terms of the story is the fact that I too took the bus when I was going to school. I too took the bus to many places. So I do have an idea of what it means to be on the bus and what it means to be safe on the bus. So this is not a political issue. This is a safety issue.
Right, exactly.
So we gotta be able to understand the difference between what is important for the well-being of our society in terms of like quality of life and what is political. So I'm not here, to talk about politics. I'm not here to talk about campaigning, but I'm here to talk about the safety of our community. So at the end of the day, it is my job, whether elected or not, to understand that we have to make sure everybody who's taking the bus is safe, not just the passengers, but also the drivers.
Yes.
So it's a community effort.
Because I've done everything you said. I've multiple times to every city councilor, including yourself. I've been in the mayor's office 3 times to talk about this, and nobody will step up and set up some kind of meeting between BAT and have, have a forum somewhere where the public can come and talk about the issues. Because BAT is a secretive organization. I've had to file freedom of information requests to get basic safety information. They won't give it to me. And we need someone, an elected official, to get BAT and explain to them that, look, obviously there's something going on with the buses. There's a safety problem. Set up a forum, whatever you want to call it, where the people of the city can go, let everybody know it's going to be there, and let them come and ask questions to get the information they need. But nobody has listened to me in 2 years of trying to do this. I've asked BAT to come to where I live. I live at 105 Bel Air Street, a Brockton Housing Authority property. It's a federal property, but the Brockton Housing Authority runs it. And we've had some serious problems with the residents there where they get threatened on the bus. I tried to get them to join together to go to BAT and to the mayor's office, but they're afraid of being evicted. And they won't speak up.
But Richard, I really hope, and I mean what I'm about to say is, I really hope after this moment, say certain things. Because here we are, on your show, talking about how do we bring solution. Now, you can focus on somebody
I don't want
else.
someone to die. We're going to do this before somebody dies.
But I understand, but Richard, I am one person, so does Pina, right? Here we are on your show, telling you that the safety of one is the safety of all. Right. We have a solemn obligation, not just in terms of the bus, but also somebody walking on the street, because we do have hit and run in the city. So at the end of the day, it is our responsibility, whether it's the fire, the police, and the bus, anything that has to do with law enforcement, including the health department, to have qualified people in these departments. And I think I champion transparency in this community. I am the guy that questions every single budget line items. I am the guy that asks the tough questions. So at the end of the day, I don't think I have any reason not to speak on this issue. But I'm very mindful though. I am not some guy that's gonna go on Facebook Live complaining about something that I know I cannot solve at this moment. Here we are on your show, recording it, talking about where do we go from here. And at the end of the day, in terms of responsible people, we gotta be able to understand there are certain problems that cannot fix in one day, but we can begin. Well,
this has been going on for 31 months.
But we can begin the process of solving the problem as we speak.
So will you pledge now? Will you pledge now on this show in the camera there that you're talking into, that if you're elected, you will? I know you're going to have a lot of things to do. I understand there's a 1,000 issues besides the buses, but we're talking about our kids here and our elderly people. They're being threatened on the bus. Well, will you pledge to address this somehow? Talk to BAT management or the union or something that only the mayor can do, and get something set up so the 100%. People can come and ask BAT questions?
I pledge to you and to the entire city of Brockton, if I'm lucky enough to become the next mayor, I will work in collaboration with whomever is in charge of this organization to bring the best of what the Bad Bus can do. And like you stated, though, we have an amazing transportation when it's come down to our local, administration. So I don't want to sitting here and bashing them. Do I believe there is room for improvement? Of course, yes. In my life, there is room for improvement. In your life and in your lives. So we got to look at the issue and come up with a solution. So I pledge to you and to those of you who are watching this that I will do, not just in terms of the Bad Boss, but I will do everything that I could to bring the best of what the city can offer in terms of like quality of life, investing in education, investing in public safety, making sure that our young people are having access to stuff whereby they don't have to go out there and shoot themselves or shoot somebody else, because it is the mayor's job to taking care of every single resident that I can tell you. And this is what
We
we're
also,
doing.
one quick question, because we only have about like 3 minutes.
Go ahead.
Will you set up, right now, I've asked the mayor 3 times, and I was in his office all 3 times with the BAT officials and the police chief and a bunch of other people, and the mayor would never answer the question. Will you put this safety information on a city website so people can see it? Because BAT refuses.
100%.
BAT will not put the safety information on
I'll
their
tell you this.
website. They refuse to do it.
100%. I will do that. Listen, I have no reason whatsoever not to publish public information. Who am I? I mean, I think it's like I think it's a leadership problem in terms of like who is telling who in terms of what to do. If I am your mayor and I know there's a problem and you trust me with your vote to lead it, and if I call somebody to take an action, they don't take an action, now it's my job to react to that person not taking action. So it's pretty simple. I will work for you like I have been doing since day one. So at the end of the day, I have no special, and that's one of the reasons I refuse to take money from any special interest organization. And that's one of the reasons why I am funding this campaign in collaboration with friends and family in terms of like doing what I think is best for the city. It's a cause that I believe in because this community has been doing so much for me. Now it's my turn to give back. And this is what I've been doing since I was appointed on the Board of Trustees for the library. I was elected on the Board of Trustees for Massasoit Community College. And even as we speak, don't forget, you're talking about safety. I am a correctional officer, whereby I deal with people that are serving times every single day. So it's my job to protect the city. It's my job to keep everybody safe. So I have nothing on me that will hide any information from somebody from not having access to it.
I
That
thank
can
you
tell
for making those pledges and talking about this. Stephen, I didn't mean to keep up. You have 3 minutes if you want to say anything about your campaign or about any issue you want.
Yeah, so it's great. This whole campaign has been a great experience. I've been able to meet some really good people out on the campaign trail. I'll tell you what, Ward 1 is a strong ward. Ward 1 is a ward that wants to see the city come back. And they believe in the 4 pillars that I've been pushing really hard. They want to raise standards in schools. They want to make sure that the schools are safe inside and out. They want to make sure that we have an open and honest budget process. And then, of course, the last one is they want to make sure that kids aren't being just pushed and forced into college and the debt and everything else, but given pathways on where they can go through high school and after, where they're prepared to go into the real world. And I think from what I've seen from the result of the last of the preliminary election, and from what I've heard since, I think there's a really good push for the city to change and to go to an educational system that is really there to work for the students and not for the teachers or the administrators. So I look forward to continuously knocking on those doors, continuously pushing my fight against the high budgets and meeting more people.
All right, I do want to thank both of you today. Gene Bradley Derincourt,
Thank you.
good luck in the election.
Thank you.
Also, just a little, I know he's not going to accept, but I'm going to offer Moses equal time to come on and talk about.
Absolutely.
I know, just to be fair. And Stephen, thank you. Good luck. And,
Thank
I think you're going to do it.
I hope so.
You're going to do it. Okay, thank you, Brockton.